Howdy, folks. It is the Solo Gamer. We are back in Fear, continuing where we left off last time. So, last time, I decided to ride the elevator downstairs, which we have now completed that little bit of trickery. And we're making our way through the facility. Okay. If I might quote Commander Shepard, be ready for anything, because I would not be in any way shocked if this next event summons nightmares beyond all comprehension, or just a straight up Reaper. What the hell?
You have two new messages. First message from Genevieve Aristide. Harlan, it's Genevieve. Listen, I understand your feelings, I really do. But this is no time for sentimentality. If Origin is uncovered, every single one of us will burn for it. It's time we buried the dead, don't you think? Next message from Genevieve Aristide. Harlan, it's me again. If you want an apology, then I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. In any case, I want to be sympathetic, but the situation is urgent. I'm sending Mapes to take care of things since you seem reluctant to do what needs to be done. I hope you can find it in yourself to assist him. End of messages.
I swear to God, how on earth is one woman's fucking ego the catalyst for all this shit? What is she? Related to the fucking Clintons? Fine. Okay. What now? What, was that everything? I don't think that was everything. Alright, fine. We'll go up. God damn it, I'm a freaking super soldier, not an engineer. Where the fuck's the Mapes when you need his ass? Oh. To the vault. Yes, for what it's worth, that sounds like an absolutely horrid idea. His status is liquid. I will be taking his spike launcher. Thank you very much. Ooh, and the armor.
Alma's still in there. She has to be. Gotta find her before AEC decides to get rid of the evidence.
Oh, trust me. Them getting rid of the evidence? What in the utter fucking hell? You! Sit still for 2 fucking seconds.
before he lets her out. There are 4 pylons. Damage the reactor cells, and you'll trigger a chain reaction. Blow the whole place to hell, where it belongs. If he lets Alma out, you have to stop him.
I'm losing your signal. We may be out of contact from here on. Be careful of this Wade guy. God only knows what he's capable of.
I've already seen him shoot one person in cold blood. I kind of assume. I somehow do not believe he is the worst of our problems.
Sequence initiated.
Okay, fucking no. Looks like the Goon Squad's coming to greet me.
You still don't know, do you? What you are. Why you're here. What's the first thing you remember? What's your given name? Where were you born? You have no history. You and I were born from the same mother. You must have sensed it. She cannot see in your mind, but perhaps you can see into hers. A life of waking from one nightmare, only to find herself deep in another. I will set her free.
No, after all the problems you've caused me, fuck off. God damn it. My weapons. These guys are all coming to wreck me with these heavy cannons.
She was a very disturbed child. Terrible, debilitating nightmares, hallucinations, hysteria. She never had a chance at a normal life. It was Disler who realized she was telepathic. He speculated that she was extremely sensitive to the negative emotions of people around her. We removed her from that chamber only twice. She was 15 when the first prototype was born. She was supposed to be comatose, but she started screaming when we induced labor and didn't stop until the liquid filled her lungs. There are plausible scientific explanations for everything that followed, but I think it was really just a question of hatred. It is the way of men to make monsters, and it is the nature of monsters to destroy their makers.
You motherfucker. Harlan Wade is genuinely an awful human being. Just straight out irredeemable. In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, just straight up irredeemable.
They want to destroy her, but I think she's suffered enough.
You let
We're
her...
in there 2 days before her 8th birthday.
No life signs detected.
She died 6 days after we pulled the plug.
Release sequence complete.
This is how it ends. Ah!
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what pure hate looks like. That was her goddamn father, and the moment she laid eyes on him, she fucking murked him. And meet the phantoms, as I call them. Essentially, physical manifestations of Alma's hatred. They come out of the shadows, manifesting as her rage made manifest into life. They're very weak physically, and they don't have any ranged attacks, but they come in large numbers and are relentless. It's also notable that they do explicitly the same amount of damage on impact. They don't actually have different damage levels. So really, it's just a matter of making sure you don't run out of ammo. And to be fair, you can use any weapon against them. Honestly, if you have the shotgun, it is my preferred weapon. Because the shotgun will just clear the house immediately. It is kind of bullshit that they take all your guns from you, but this sector wouldn't be nearly as nerve-wracking or as intense if they didn't. That is that. Now the question is, how do you get out of this place? Because you just lit the fire, and you need to find a way out. She's trying to leave too. She must realize that this place is going thermonuclear with us inside of it. So she wants out as bad as we do. Now that her power is free and unleashed, these things are fucking everywhere now. But we're getting close to the final end of the game. Retaliation.
He's alive. I just picked up his signal. If you can hear me, get to high ground. A chopper is standing by.
Interesting they still have the... Oh, I remember this sector. Yeah. And I will never understand why they put a health recharger right there when it's completely pointless at this juncture. And one of the tricks of this whole thing is you have to just keep moving as fast as you can. Gotcha. Alright, we're almost out. I'm gonna let this video play straight to the end. Finish this as we started it. In a run-down, abandoned building. Haunted by phantoms, running for our life, and chased by the shadows. And this is like almost last-ditch effort to try and stop you. And it's the feeling like Alma's just frustrated she can't slow you down. Now, interesting to note, the slowdown effect isn't automatic anymore, like it used to be.
I've tried to forget. I've tried so hard to forget.
I don't know how a corpse can be fighting me.
You were born here, in this place. I was there.
Yeah, and here's where you find out just how much of a shit stain Harlan Wade was. Induced, put her in a coma, induced labor,
Take her back to the vault.
stole her child, and then buried her. Alma may be the antagonist, but she is not the villain. Wade and everyone else at Armatam, they're the villains here. Would you just leave me the hell alone, please? Finally, daylight. Oh, shit. Well, I guess I ain't got no chance of running from this, because I got nowhere to go. Damned. Status of fear operative unknown. I got blown up. Fuck you think? And this is in Extraction Point. They replay this entire sequence.
I don't know how you lived through that. We still don't know the extent of the damage.
We haven't been able to get through to anyone since the explosion. What about Alma? What happened to her? What was that sound?
So yeah. We'll let the credits play out. So yeah, Fear is an example of how you take an action game like a shooter and blend it with other things like horror and tense pressure and all kinds of other stuff. The biggest issue is that I think, ideally, Fear is the type of game that would really hit right now if you brought it back. Because you've got a lot of people getting annoyed with all this multiplayer nonsense. There's a lot of people tired of the microtransactions. A lot of people want story-based, narrative-based action games. But shooters are so multiplayer focused that you rarely see anything like that. I mean, it also applies to other things. I'm playing Tainted Grail. And Tainted Grail is great, but it just feels like, pardon the expression, it feels like Temu Oblivion. And that's not generous. That's not right. But it does feel like it's Oblivion with just a different wrapper. It's not bad. It's actually really good. But there are limits to what you can do with such a thing. And those limits are heavily based on the gameplay. And from what I've experienced with Tainted Avalon, it's, despite being a newer game, it still feels like its control scheme is clunky and unrefined and doesn't know how to merge multiple types of play style the way that like Oblivion does. Because you can play a magic user in Oblivion and you can still have the sword and shield. You can still block. And you can still parry, but when you're using magic in Tainted Grail, as far as I've been able to tell, you can't. The magic takes up one of your abilities, so you cannot defend yourself with any type of parry or block system. Your magic is your other weapon, which I kind of get, but like it feels like you should be able to use the magic as a secondary, not as a primary. That's me. Still a good game, and I do recommend it if you're itching for something Oblivion-esque, but with something of a different style or tenor. I'm just feeling like right now Oblivion's got that on lockdown. I'm gonna probably take a look at Night Rain once they get it patched and put in the adjustments for solo play. While everybody agrees it's a great game in and of itself, the fact that it is so co-op focused is getting a lot of pushback. Which I get. Sierra Entertainment, Vivendi, Universal Publishing. Some of you youngsters may not even know what that was. There was a time when those words meant quality, and they meant the absolute perfection. Sierra, to my remembrance, Sierra and Vivendi eventually got bought out by Blizzard, I think? And then of course we all know what happened to Blizzard. They got bought out by Activision, who then got bought out by Microsoft. And it's like, it's kind of a perfect storm where Blizzard hit the scene with a bunch of really interesting, but not exactly super commercially successful games, but they were doing okay. And then they released Warcraft, and Warcraft was a smash hit. And that sort of tailed into other stuff they did. But then StarCraft was where they really hit it big. If you want to really look at it, it was the point where StarCraft brought them so much mainstream acclaim, and especially on the esports scene, that it sort of became their big thing. And Blizzard had so much momentum, and they just squandered it by bad decision making, poor management, all kinds of stupid shit that honestly any real well documented and run company would have known better. Absolutely would have known better. But at the end of the day, we all know the story of what happened to Blizzard. Blizzard is now essentially a shell of its former self, a ghost company in all but name. But the name Blizzard still holds some weight, but it's really nothing more than a relic. Their big thing, Overwatch, was supposed to be the thing that brought them back. And what did Overwatch end up doing? It ended up being the torpedo that sank the ship, because it started out so strong. So very strong. They had money flowing in left and right. They had all kinds of great gameplay ideas. There's a lot of good ideas. GameSpy Industries. That was the multiplayer provider for Fear and its expansions. Was GameSpy. If you don't know who they are, can't blame you. They've been dead for well over a decade now. No actual Delta Force operators are harmed in this production. Yet.
Senator, it's Genevieve Aristide. I just wanted to assure you that the origin situation has been resolved.
But so much for discretion.
It was unavoidable. There is some good news, however. The first prototype was a complete success.
And the first prototype was you. And that actually leads into Percy's Mandate, which is all about the Senator sending his own team to recover the genetic material and data for the prototype, so that they can try and make more. But anyway, that concludes Fear Platinum Edition. I will be doing another video soon featuring Extraction Point. We will continue where we left off on Extraction Point and go from there. Now, unfortunately, these videos are probably going to be a little out of order because I didn't do them in sequence. I started out with the openings for each game and then sort of went forward with just doing Fear. But I will continue with the series, and hopefully this will introduce a new generation to some of the best horror FPS gaming ever created. Either way, this is the Solo Gamer. You may call me Matt, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye.